Good afternoon, everybody. Our today's discussion is on the classification of urban settlement. Before classifying the urban settlement, we have to conceptualize the term settlement. That means, what denotes settlement? What is settlement? Settlement is very significant for the study of human geography. And human settlement may be defined as a place where people inhabited permanently or semi-permanently. And it's a collection of man-made structures, man-made spatial structure. That means it's a spatial unit. And there's a purpose for the formation of such spatial unit. That is, it performs certain socio-economic objectives of human beings. It's a group of dwellings or houses which represents man's fast response to their natural environment. And for that purpose, they need to live together. There is another definition of settlement, that is the revenue definition. If we follow this definition, then it describes settlement as a territory where it's inhabited by a group of people and the people have the right to utilize the resources of that particular territory. And in response to that right, they used to pay revenue to the government. Primarily, we can classify settlement into two distinguished categories, rural and urban. Rural settlements, in case of rural settlement, the inhabitant of the place primarily associate with the primary activities or mainly agricultural activities. That means it's depend on the soil. Whereas in case of urban settlement, majority of the people are associated with secondary or tertiary activities. That means non-agricultural activities. We know very well that any kind of classification has been, there must be a basis. For any kind of classification, there must be a basis. And in case of urban settlement, there are few bases which we can identify. Like physical characteristics of the place. It includes site characteristics and the climatic features of that place. Historical characteristics of a settlement. There is another characteristics which was suggested by Louis Mumford, that is the age of settlement. Another characteristics features to classify settlements are the socio-cultural characteristics, economic or functional features. Let's see the classification based on site characteristics or situational advantages. In case of, if we are trying to analyze the Indian scenario, then we can trace few sites, few distinguished sites as seafront, riverfront, lakefront, hilly location or flat land location. Majority of the Indian settlement have been developed over the vast stretches of land. Seafront location, cities are also available. The respective statistics are given here and the examples also incorporated. Like Delhi, Kolkata, Guwahati, all are the good examples of riverside location. Whereas Hyderabad, Udaipur, they are very popular for their lakefront location. Climate is the second physical characteristics based on which we can classify the urban settlement. Here, few particular climatic characteristics has been adopted for the classification, like hill station, plateau cities, coastal cities, northern and southern inland cities, and desert towns. The number of cities over 1 lakh population in such groups also represented here with respective examples. Now coming to the characteristic features of such climate. If we consider the hill station, then their location is above 1000 meter. In case of plateau, the elevational range is in between 500 to 1000 meter. In coastal cities, they are located within the 15 kilometer distance from shoreline. Northern and southern inland cities both have same features. Difference is that the northern inland cities are located northern portion of the Vindhya, whereas second categories are located in the southern part of the Vindhyan range. Now coming to the classification based on the historical evolution. That is the historical approach. Historical evolution means the periodical development, and based on this periodical development we can recognize certain phases. In case of India, there are few ancient cities and their development was started before AD 1200. Even still now there existed in our country, like Allahabad, Mathura. Few cities have started their journey before AD 1800. They are the medieval cities. Our pre-independence phase, that means the British colonial ruler, they had an impact on the Indian urbanization scenario. Even still now, those cities have been carrying the colonial legacy. Calcutta, Bombay, Madras are the example of such city. Here one thing we have to observe, that we are pronounced as Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, not Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, because from very beginning they were known as Calcutta, Bombay. That's why I am telling. Post-independence India also experiencing the development of such administrative town like Chandigarh. Next scheme of classification. This scheme was proposed by Louis Mumford. Actually, Mumford was trying to identify the stages of urban development, not the historical phases, but its socio-economic level of its socio-economic development, its birth, just like a human beings, its birth, its development and its decay, phase of its decay after completely towards the death. According to this view, he identified the cities like Eopolis. It's a neonatal stage, neonatal phase of urban development. Then comes to the polis. It's a sort of market town, kind of market town. Metropolis having population with 10 lakhs more than 10 lakhs. Megalopolis are the coalitions of several metropolis, and we can see these megalopolis along the northeastern seaboard of USA, where so many metropolis merge with each other. Tyrannopolis is a concept where worldwide urbanization may be experienced. That means 70% of the population live in urban areas. And necropolis is the dead city. Today's Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Mesopotamia, they are the good example of such cities. Another scheme of classification, a researcher in urban geography may classify urban settlement based on their socio-cultural as well as their ethnic characteristics. In India, linguistic classification of urban centers is a popular scheme of classification. In India, there are various towns primarily developed on the basis of Hindi-speaking population. Like that, there are other provincial languages like Tamil, Telugu, Bengali. There are some sort of township where the provincial languages are predominating. Even religious characteristics is another ethnic features. Based on these features, we can also trace the urban centers like Muslim dominated, Hindu dominated township. These classification, that means classification based on functions, it is very easier classification if we analyze it on the basis of qualitative techniques. Otherwise, it is too much difficult to identify the nature of a city or town based on their or its functions. Various functions may be identified on the basis of their predominancy. Like agricultural mining. First two examples are actually primary activities. We know that primary activities are related with rural settlement. But if the population confirm the census criteria, later on we will discuss the census criteria. If the population confirm the census criteria, then the settlement predominating primary activity may be considered as urban. Examples are agricultural and mining town. Specific examples also given here. You can see from the presentation. Others activity which are recognized as household industry, manufacturing industry, trade, transport, market, commerce. These are the tertiary activities. And cities may show remarkable recognition, degree of specialization in more or specific activities. That means it may be developed on the basis of one major activities or more than one major activities. Let's see the actually our discussion. If we recognition of standard urban area, that is the tabulation of certain urban data. That means it was the purpose of Indian census, and for the fulfillment of their purpose, they had tried to modify the previous concept of town group and transform it into the concept of standard urban area. Let's see what are the essential characteristics features of the standard urban area. It should have a core town of a minimum population of size of the 50,000. That is the change. In case of town group, the population was a fixed population size was not mentioned, but in later half census of India determined a particular size of population for the being standard urban area, that is the 50,000. Then next criterion, that is the contiguous areas made up of other urban as well as rural administrative unit. But there is a condition. What is the condition? The condition is that there must be some probabilities that the entire area will get fully urbanized in the period of 20 or 30 years. If a place can confirm the third criterion, that means the possibility of being urban within 2 or 3 decades, then presently it may be considered as standard urban area as notified by the Census of India. We are in the last phase of our today's discussion. The size class classification of town. Size class classification. What is size class? Size class means we have to arrange the town or cities based on their population size, and it reflects our urban hierarchy. This concept is related with urban hierarchy, and more specifically, this kind of hierarchy was introduced by the Census of India for the developmental aspects. The megacities are in the topmost level of the size class distribution, having population of 10 million or more, whereas million plus cities, that means population of 1 million or more, but must be less than 10 million. If that's the limit of 10 million, then it must have to be treated as mega city. Shiliguri, our town is an example of million plus city. Maximum here, I am trying to incorporating the examples from North Bengal. The first order cities or towns, they are very distinct, they are very much famous or very distinguished in their nature. But the cities of the last order or the lower order they are not remarkable, but they are promising. They are not remarkable, but they are also promising, because lower order cities or towns have the potentiality to decentralize the urbanization. They can decentralize the process of urbanization, and that is very much essential for the balanced urbanization, and more specifically for the developing countries like India. Class 1 to class 6, these are the other categories in this size class distributions. And respective examples from Darjeeling district or Jalpaiguri districts are incorporated here. Now we have to conclude our entire discussion. Why we are approaching such classification scheme? Actually, classification of urban settlement is a basis for the scientific discussion of such settlement, and according to the academic convenience, any kind of methodical discussion will remain incomplete without applying a logical classification. That's why we need such a classification. And in particular, a particular town have various dimensions. In case of functional classification of town, we have tried to recognize the town or cities as administrative town or transport town. But in reality, a particular town may have several dimensions. That's why qualitative analysis are not enough to find out the exact nature of a town or city. That doesn't confirm the exact nature sometimes. For these reasons, urban geographer, they must have to depend on the quantitative analysis or quantitative exercise to understanding the actual nature of the city. And in conclusion, we can say that entire study of urban classification is very much essential for the upgradation of our present urban areas. They are going through several problems regarding their growth and development. To overcome such problems, we have to depend on such exercise to suggest problem-specific suggestions and to recognize the area-specific problem. Based on this city-specific or town-specific problem, we can recommend problem-specific suggestions for the further development and planning aspect. Thank you.